The rain hammered against the penthouse windows like 1,000 accusing fingers, but Serenity Vance didn't hear it over the shatter of her mother's voice. "Who the hell is she?" Senator Elena Vance demanded, her manicured hand clutching a grainy photo that trembled in the dim lamplight. The image capturing Serenity locked in an embrace that no spin doctor could sanitize. In that frozen moment, the world Serenity had buried deep inside cracked open, spilling secrets that could topple the empire her mother had clawed from the marble halls of Washington to the glittering spires of Manhattan. Serenity's heart slammed against her ribs, not from fear of the exposure, but from the raw ache of being seen, truly seen for the first time in years. She met her mother's eyes, those steel-gray orbs that had stared down presidents and pundits alike, and whispered the truth she'd rehearsed in mirrors but never voiced. "She's the one who makes me feel alive, Mom. And if that brings us down, maybe we were never built to last." The senator's face crumpled, not in rage, but in the quiet devastation of a woman who had traded her soul for power, only to watch it reflected back in her daughter's unyielding gaze. Serenity turned away, the city lights blurring through tears she refused to let fall, knowing this was just the beginning of the storm that would either drown them both or wash away the lies they'd lived. Serenity stepped out of the elevator into the lobby of her mother's campaign headquarters, the air thick with the scent of fresh coffee and desperation. It was a Thursday in late October, the kind of crisp New York morning where the Hudson River mist clung to everything like regret. Volunteers in crisp blue polo shirts darted between cubicles, phones ringing off the hook with donors pledging fortunes to keep Elena Vance in the Senate for another term. Serenity wove through them, her heels clicking against the polished concrete floor. A ghost in her own family's fortress. She was 28, the only child of a dynasty forged in the fires of Midwestern grit and Manhattan ambition. Elena had risen from a small-town lawyer in upstate New York to a force in Washington, her name synonymous with progressive firebrands who could charm a room full of skeptics. Serenity had grown up in the shadow of that legacy, private schools in Greenwich, summers at the family compound in the Hamptons, always the poised daughter at galas, her smile a perfect accessory to her mother's power suits. But beneath the veneer, Serenity had always felt like a placeholder, pretty prop for photo ops, her own dreams muffled by the roar of Elena's. Today, she carried a leather satchel slung over her shoulder, filled with briefing papers for the upcoming debate. It was her role, the behind-the-scenes strategist, the one who whispered policy tweaks into her mother's ear during late-night strategy sessions. Not because she craved the spotlight, but because it was the only way to stay close, to pretend she belonged in this world of calculated risks and scripted triumphs. As she approached the glass-walled corner office, her phone buzzed in her pocket. A text from an unknown number, "We need to talk." The park bench by the Bethesda fountain. 2 p.m. "Well, Lila." The name alone sent a shiver through her, a mix of terror and thrill that made her fingers tremble as she typed back, "Can't. Too dangerous." But she knew she would go. She always did. Inside the office, Elena was mid-conversation with her chief of staff, Marcus Hale, a wiry man in his 50s with a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow and eyes that missed nothing. "Serenity. Darling," Elena said, her voice shifting seamlessly from command to warmth as she rose from her desk. She was a vision at 62. Silver-streaked hair pulled into a flawless chignon, a tailored navy blazer hugging her still athletic frame. "You're early." "Good. We need to run through the healthcare pivot." Serenity forced a smile, sliding into the leather chair opposite. "I've got the revisions." Emphasizing maternal leave expansions ties into your personal story without getting too sentimental. Elena nodded, her approval a rare currency. Smart. You're getting sharper every day. There was pride there. Genuine. But laced with expectation. Serenity had always been the good daughter. The one who never rebelled publicly. Who buried her queerness under layers of discretion after that disastrous college fling leaked to a tabloid. It had been hushed up. Of course, NDA signed. Stories buried, but the scar lingered. A reminder that in the Vance empire, vulnerability was a liability. As Marcus droned on about polling data, Serenity's mind wandered to Lila. They'd met 6 months ago at a fundraiser in Brooklyn. Lila, a freelance journalist with a reputation for skewering politicians on her podcast, Unfiltered Echoes. She was everything Serenity wasn't: bold, unapologetic, with olive skin and dark curls that framed a face alive with mischief. Their first conversation had been over cheap Merlot in a dimly lit bar afterward, Lila's questions cutting through the small talk like a knife. "Your mother's a shark," she'd said. "Eyes sparkling. But you're the current underneath, pulling everything along." One drink led to two. Then a stolen kiss in the alley behind the bar. The kind that tasted like freedom. Since then, it had been a secret dance, clandestine meetings in Central Park, whispered calls at midnight, hands brushing under cafe tables. Lila made Serenity feel seen, not as Elena Vance's daughter, but as herself, flawed, hungry, alive. But love in the shadows bred paranoia. Every glance over her shoulder, every deleted message, chipped away at the joy. By noon, the meeting wrapped, and Serenity slipped out, claiming a lunch errand. The walk to Central Park was a blur of yellow cabs and street vendors hawking pretzels, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot like brittle promises. She found Lila on the bench, legs crossed in faded jeans and a leather jacket, scrolling her phone with that effortless poise that made Serenity's chest tighten. "You're late," Lila said. But her smile softened the words as she stood, pulling Serenity into a quick hug that lingered just long enough to spark heat low in her belly. "Campaign life," Serenity murmured, inhaling the faint citrus of Lila's shampoo. They sat, shoulders touching, the fountain spray misting the air around them. Tourists milled about, oblivious. But Serenity scanned the crowd anyway, habit born of years in the fishbowl. Lila's expression turned serious, her brown eyes locking onto Serenity's. "I got a tip. Someone's digging into your mother's finances, old PAC donations from that pharma lobbyist in 18. But that's not why I'm here." She hesitated, fishing a folded printout from her jacket. "This is..." A source sent it anonymously. "Isn't it?" Serenity unfolded the paper, her blood turning to ice. It was the photo from last night, the one her mother had hurled at her in fury. Her and Lila, entwined on a rooftop bar in the village, lips inches apart, the city lights haloing their recklessness. How? Doesn't matter. What matters is it's out there. Blogs are buzzing. And if it hits the mainstream, Lila's voice trailed off, her hand finding Serenity's, squeezing. "We have to decide what to do. Hide, fight, or let it burn." Serenity's throat closed, the weight of it crashing down. Her mother had built this dynasty on Elena's image, the fierce feminist, the unbreakable matriarch. A lesbian daughter entangled with a journalist who could expose it all? It wasn't just scandal, it was apocalypse. I can't destroy her, she whispered, tears pricking her eyes. She's all I have. Lila cupped her face, thumb brushing away a tear. No. There. I'm what you have. And if she can't see that, maybe it's time to stop protecting her ghost. They kissed then, soft and desperate under the autumn sun, the world narrowing to the press of Lila's lips, the promise of something real amid the ruins. But as they parted, Serenity glimpsed a figure across the path, a man in a trench coat. Phone rays. Snapping away. The hook had been set, and now the line was reeling them in. Back at headquarters that afternoon, the air felt thicker, charged with unspoken storms. Serenity buried herself in emails, drafting responses to potential attack ads. But her mind replayed the photo, the kiss, the man's shadow. Elena swept in around for, her face a mask of controlled fury. Marcus trailing like a loyal hound. We need to talk, Elena said, closing the door with a click that echoed like a gavel. No endearments this time. The senator was in full battle mode. That picture. It's everywhere in the underbelly gossip grid. Those anonymous X threads. If it leaks to CNN, Serenity's stomach twisted. It won't. I'll handle it. Handle it. Elena's laugh was bitter, echoing off the glass walls. By what? Darling, praying. This isn't some college indiscretion we can pay off. This is your life crashing into mine. And mine is the one that matters to millions. She paced, heels sinking into the carpet. Who is she? Anyway, some groupie chasing clout. Her name's Lila Reyes, Serenity said, voice steady despite the quake inside. She's a journalist. Smart. Kind. And she loves me. Elena stopped, eyes narrowing. Loves you. Got. Serenity. You're 30 next year. This isn't a phase, it's sabotage. I've spent decades building walls around this family, fought for every woman who comes after me, including you. And now you throw it away for. What? A fling that could cost me my seat. The words landed like blows, each one excavating the old wounds. The high school dances Serenity skipped. The dates with safe boys her mother paraded for optics. The therapy sessions Elena funded to fix what she called Serenity's confusion. It's not a fling, Serenity shot back, rising to her feet. It's real. And if you think your seat is worth more than my happiness, then maybe you're the one who's confused. Silence stretched, taut as a wire. Marcus cleared his throat from the corner, invisible until now. Senator. We could spin it. Frame it as a youthful mistake. Pivot to resilience narratives. Elena waved him off, her gaze never leaving Serenity's. No. We bury it. You end it. Tonight. Or I will, for both our sakes. Serenity walked out without another word, the door slamming behind her like a declaration of war. The elevator ride down was a descent into chaos. Her reflection in the mirrored walls fractured, multiplying her doubts. By the time she hit the street, dusk was falling, the city a neon blur of possibility and peril. She texted Lila, my place. Now. We need a plan. Lila arrived 20 minutes later, windblown and fierce, shedding her jacket to reveal a tank top that hugged her curves. The apartment was Serenity's sanctuary, a loft in Chelsea with exposed brick and bookshelves groaning under volumes of poetry and policy tomes. They collapsed onto the couch, Lila's arms wrapping around her like armor. "Tell me," Lila urged, fingers tracing patterns on Serenity's back. Serenity recounted the confrontation, the ultimatums, the chasm widening between mother and daughter. "She wants me to choose her world or this." Lila pulled back, eyes searching. "And what do you want, Sare? Not what she built for you, what you built for yourself." The question hung, heavy and luminous. Serenity thought of the girl she'd been, stifled by expectations, and the woman emerging now, raw and radiant in Lila's light. "I want us," she said finally. The words a vow. But God. The cost. They made love that night with the urgency of the condemned, bodies tangling in sheets that smelled of lavender and longing. Lila's touch was reverent, mapping Serenity's skin like sacred text, drawing gasps and whispers from depths Serenity had long sealed. In the afterglow, they lay entwined, the city humming beyond the windows, a lullaby of what might be lost. But dawn brought reality crashing back. Serenity's phone lit up with alerts. Vance heiress and lesbian tryst, Dynasty in jeopardy? The photo had broken, splashed across digital tabloids, hashtags trending like wildfire. Elena's team was in damage control, but the damage was done, the scandal blooming like ink in water. Serenity dressed in silence, Lila watching from the bed. "Go to her," Lila said softly. "Not to beg forgiveness. To claim your space." The drive to the Hamptons compound was a 2-hour blur of coastal highway, Serenity's Audi slicing through fog-shrouded dunes. The estate loomed like a fortress, white-clapboard mansion, manicured lawns rolling to the Atlantic, Secret Service details discreetly patrolling. Elena was on the veranda when Serenity arrived, coffee in hand, staring at the waves as if they held answers. "You came," Elena said, not turning. Her voice was stripped bare. The armor cracked. "I had to." Serenity joined her, the wicker chair creaking under her weight. The ocean roared, indifferent. "This isn't just about me anymore. It's about us, all the lies we've told to keep the machine running." Elena finally looked at her, lines etched deeper around her eyes. "I did it for you. You know. Pushed so hard because I saw myself in you, the fire, the fight. But I never taught you how to burn without destroying everything." Serenity reached for her hand, surprised when Elena didn't pull away. "You taught me strength, Mom. But strength isn't silence. It's standing up, even when it shakes the ground." They talked then, haltingly at first, then in floods, Elena's own buried secrets, a youthful affair with a female aide, sacrificed on the altar of ambition, the loneliness of power, the fear that her legacy would be footnotes, not monuments. Serenity shared Lila's laugh, her unyielding belief in truth over triumph. For the first time, they were equals, not icon and shadow. By evening, a tentative truce formed. Elena wouldn't endorse, but she wouldn't disown. "Fight your way," she said, hugging Serenity fiercely. "Just don't let them break you." Back in the city, Lila waited with takeout Thai and a bottle of wine, their reunion a spark reigniting. But the scandal's tendrils spread, protesters at rallies chanting for authenticity, donors pulling funds, opponents sharpening knives. Serenity dove in, not hiding, but harnessed, speaking at queer rights forums, her voice steady, weaving personal story into policy pleas. Weeks blurred into a whirlwind. Joint interviews where Lila's questions pierced without wounding. Strategy sessions where Elena's pragmatism tempered Serenity's passion. The polls dipped, then stabilized, the narrative shifting from scandal to symbol, a dynasty evolving, not crumbling. One night, in a quiet Soho bistro, candles flickering between them, Lila raised her glass. To scandals that set us free, Serenity clinked, her heart full. To the women who build, and the ones who rebuild, but freedom's price lingered. Whispers of betrayal surfaced, a leaked email from Marcus, suggesting he'd fed the photo to rivals for a payout. The investigation was swift, Elena's fury volcanic, but it unearthed deeper rot, years of corner-cutting in the campaign machine. In the eye of it, Serenity found clarity. She stepped back from strategy, launching her own nonprofit, Bridges of Equity, fusing politics with personal healing for LGBTQ+ youth. Lila chronicled it all. Their love no longer shadowed, but spotlighted, a quiet revolution. As winter blanketed Manhattan in snow, Serenity stood on the penthouse balcony, Elena beside her, watching flakes dance. "You didn't bring it down," Elena murmured. "You lifted it higher." Serenity smiled, the ache of old wounds softening. In the distance, Lila's silhouette waited inside, arms open. The dynasty endured, reshaped by truth, a testament to love's quiet power. Serenity woke to the soft patter of snow against the window. Lila's warmth curled against her side like a promise kept. It was mid-December now. The city transformed into a postcard of twinkling lights and bundled pedestrians. But the chill seeped deeper than winter's bite. The nonprofit's launch event loomed tomorrow. A gala at the Whitney Museum where donors and activists would mingle under the guise of progress. Serenity had poured her soul into it, speeches drafted, partnerships forged, but doubt gnawed at her edges. Could she really step out from under Elena's wing without toppling? Lila stirred. Her dark curls splayed across the pillow, lips curving in sleep. Serenity traced a finger along her jaw, marveling at the ease of this intimacy, once a stolen luxury. "Morning," Lila murmured, eyes fluttering open, pulling Serenity down for a kiss that tasted of coffee dreams and unspoken fears. They lingered in bed, bodies entwining lazily, the world held at bay by drawn curtains. Lila's hands were sure, igniting trails of fire across Serenity's skin, drawing out moans that echoed their shared vulnerability. "You're glowing," Lila whispered afterward, propping on an elbow, her gaze tender. "Scared, terrified," Serenity admitted, lacing their fingers. "What if they see through me?" The Vance name carries weight, but also chains. Lila's laugh was low, reassuring. "Then let it. You're not her anymore. You're you, brilliant, broken, beautiful." The words settled like balm, but the day pulled them apart. Serenity headed to the office space she'd rented in Midtown, a sunlit loft buzzing with young staffers, interns with rainbow pins on their backpacks, graphic designers sketching logos of interlocking bridges. Her second-in-command, Jordan Ellis, a non-binary organizer from Chicago with a buzz cut and infectious energy, greeted her with a steaming latte. "Press packets ready. We've got NPR, The Advocate, even a slot on Lila's pod." Serenity nodded, diving into rehearsals. Her speech was raw, stories of hiding in plain sight, the isolation of elite closets, the healing power of community. Rehearsing alone, voice cracking on lines about her mother's legacy. She felt the pull of old loyalties. Elena had called last night. Voice laced with pride and plea. Make it count. But don't bleed for them. Save some for us. By afternoon. The betrayal's fallout hit. Marcus Hale had confessed, pressured by federal investigators, spilling details of embezzled funds funneled through shell packs. Elena's campaign was under subpoena. Headlines screaming Vance empire crumbles. Corruption at core. Serenity's phone exploded. Voicemails from panicked board members. Texts from Lila urging caution. She drove to the family apartment on the Upper East Side. The doorman's not a hollow formality. Elena was in the library, surrounded by legal pads and half-empty scotch glasses, her chignon unraveling. It's over, she said flatly, not looking up. 30 years. And one greedy bastard undoes it all. Serenity knelt beside her, taking the glass away. It's not over. You're Elena Vance. You've survived worse. Elena's eyes, red-rimmed, met hers. Have I? I built this on sand, compromises, corners cut. And you got there. I pushed you into the same mold. A sob escape. Uncharacteristic. Fracturing the iron facade. I love you. More than the seat. The spotlight. I just forgot how to show it. The confession unlocked something in Serenity. A flood of forgiveness. Fierce and freeing. They held each other. Mother and daughter. Tears mingling on silk blouses. The room heavy with what-ifs and what-nows. We'll fight this together, Serenity vowed. Clean slate. For both of us. That night, Lila came over, bearing tie and takeout wisdom. They ate cross-legged on the living room rug, Elena joining unexpectedly. The three women an unlikely trinity. Conversation flowed haltingly, politics giving way to personal. Elena sharing tales of her early days. Lila probing gently. Serenity bridging with quiet insights. Laughter bubbled up. Tentative. Then full. The first real family dinner in years. But dawn brought the gala. A glittering gauntlet. Serenity arrived in an emerald gown that hugged her frame. Hair loose in waves. Lila at her side in tailored black. A power couple in the making. The Whitney's halls thrummed with chatter. Crystal flutes clinking. Faces from Elena's orbit eyeing them warily. Her speech was electric, voice steady. Eyes scanning the crowd. Weaving scandal into strength. We are not our secrets, she declared. Pausing as applause swelled. We are the bridges we build from pain to power. Isolation to belonging. Lila's proud gaze anchored her. Elena's nod from the wings a silent benediction. Afterward, donors swarmed. Checks written with renewed fervor. But in a quiet alcove, a reporter cornered her, young, ambitious. Microphone thrust forward. Ms. Vance. With the corruption probe, does this taint your mother's support for your work? Serenity's pulse raced. But she smiled. Measured. My mother's a fighter. So am I. This isn't a taint. It's a testament to accountability. The soundbite went viral, reframing the narrative. Yet privately, doubts festered. Late that night, alone in the loft, Serenity scrolled news feeds. Elena's approval plummeting. Whispers of resignation. Lila found her there, curled on the couch. Screen glow casting shadows. Talk to me, Lila urged. settling beside her. It's all unraveling, Serenity whispered. What if I'm the spark that burns it down? Lila pulled her close, lips brushing her temple. Then we rebuild from the ashes. Together. Their lovemaking was slow, deliberate, a reclaiming amid chaos. Lila's body moved with hers in perfect sync, hands and mouths charting territories of trust, gasps mingling with affirmations. You're enough, Lila breathed against her skin. Always were. Morning brought a call from Elena. Press conference at noon. Stand with me. Serenity arrived at City Hall, cameras flashing like paparazzi vultures. Elena, poised in pearl gray, addressed the podium, admissions of oversight, vows of reform, a plea for grace. Serenity flanked her, hand on her arm, their unity a shield. Questions flew harsh, probing, but they parried as one. Elena's gravitas bolstered by Serenity's quiet fire. In the green room after, Elena pulled her aside. Thank you for seeing me. Not the senator. Serenity hugged her tight. Family's not a dynasty. Mom. It's this. The probe dragged into January. Depositions and document dumps a grinding ordeal. Serenity balanced it with bridges, events and community centers where queer kids shared stories that mirrored her own, hidden loves, family fractures. Lila's podcast episodes amplified them, her voice a clarion call. One evening, in a Brooklyn youth shelter, a teen named Riley approached, eyes wide. Your story. It gave me courage to tell my dad's. Thank you. Serenity's throat tightened, the human weight of her choices crystallizing. You give me courage, she replied. The exchange a quiet victory. But tension simmered at home. Lila's editor pushed for a bombshell piece on the Van Cess, testing loyalties. It's just facts, Lila argued over dinner. Fork paused midair. You know I'd never hurt you. Serenity nodded. But unease lingered. Facts have edges. Be careful. The fracture came subtly. A late night at the studio. Lila's texts curt, then silent. Serenity waited up. Wine glass sweating in her hand. Mind spinning worst-case scenarios. When Lila slipped in at 2 a.m., disheveled, Serenity confronted her. What's going on? Lila hesitated, then handed over her laptop. A draft article, inside the Vance vault, lies, lovers, and legacy. It detailed Elena's cover-ups. Serenity's role balanced, but brutal. You were going to run this? Serenity's voice broke. No revising it down. But my job. The job or me? The words hung. A precipice. Lila's eyes filled. You. Always you. They reconciled in tears and touches. Boundaries redrawn. Trust reforged in vulnerability. Yet the seed of doubt took root, whispering of inevitable collisions. February's thaw mirrored their fragile peace. Elena's case resolved with fines and reforms. Her career scarred but intact, a phoenix. Not ashes. Serenity's nonprofit thrived. Chapters sprouting in Austin and Portland. One spring evening, under cherry blossoms in Washington Square Park, Lila knelt, ring glinting, a simple band etched with bridges. Marry me. There. Let's build forever. Serenity's yes was a sob, the kiss sealing fates intertwined. But as summer beckoned, A final shadow loomed. An anonymous tip to Lila, alleging Elena's deeper involvement in the corruption. The choice loomed: truth or love, testing the foundations they'd laid. Serenity stared at the email on Lila's screen, the words blurring into a haze of betrayal's prelude. It was from a burner account. Ask your fiancé about the 92/fund. Elena's fingerprints all over it. Proof attached. The attachment was a scanned ledger. Yellowed pages listing illicit transfers from decades ago. Elena's signature scrawled like a ghost. Lila's face was ashen, fingers hovering over delete. I didn't ask for this. It came through the tip line. Serenity's chest constricted. The Parks' laughter mocking their bubble. And you were going to what? Ignore it? Or chase the story that could end everything? Lila reached for her. But Serenity stepped back. The ring on her finger suddenly heavy. Sir, I love you. But truth, it's my oxygen. I can't just breathe without suffocating me, Serenity finished. Voice raw. She turned, striding away. The blossoms shedding petals like confetti on a grave. The walk home was a gauntlet of memories. Their first rooftop kiss. Lila's hand in hers at Elena's presser. The quiet vows under the covers. By the time she reached the loft, exhaustion claimed her. Collapsing onto the bed still rumpled from morning's optimism. Lila didn't follow. Text came in waves: please talk. I deleted it. For us. Serenity silenced her phone, curling into the pillows that smelled of citrus and regret. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of ledgers burning. Elena's face melting into accusation. Dawn found her at the kitchen counter. Coffee bitter on her tongue. Elena called at 7. Voice clipped. Board meeting at 10. Your input on the expansion. Serenity dressed mechanically, crisp blouse, slacks that hit trembling knees, and drove to the nonprofit's offices. Jordan greeted her with concern, but she waved it off, plunging into spreadsheets. The work was a lifeline: grant proposals for therapy programs, partnerships with schools in underserved neighborhoods. Here, the least impact was tangible, untainted. Mid-morning, her assistant buzzed. Emma's raise is here. Insistent. Serenity's stomach flipped. Send her in. Lila entered like a storm. Eyes red-rimmed. Curls tamed into a ponytail. I couldn't sleep. Sir. That tip, it's poison. I forwarded it to my editor anonymously. Let them chase without me. No byline. No blood on our hands. Relief ward with wariness. Why tell me now? Afraid I'd find out later. Lila crossed the room, stopping inches away. Her scent a torment. Because secrets are what broke us before. I choose you, us, over the scoop. Every time. The kiss was inevitable. Hungry. A dam breaking. They stumbled to the couch in the corner office. Doors locked. World shut out. Lila's hands were urgent, peeling away layers, literal and figurative, until Serenity arched beneath her. Cries muffled against shoulders. It was reclamation. Fierce and forgiving. Body speaking what words fumbled. After. Tangled and breathless. Serenity traced Lila's collarbone. Promise me. No more vaults. Promise, Lila echoed, sealing it with a kiss. But the tip festered. By afternoon, news broke. Vance slush fund resurfaces. 92 scandal links senator to mob ties? Elena's office erupted in denials. But the damage rippled, canceled fundraisers, editorial boards calling for ethics probes. Serenity met Elena at a neutral ground, a quiet cafe in Gramercy, away from prying eyes. Her mother looked diminished, cardigan draped over shoulders, stirring tea endlessly. "It's fabricated," Elena insisted, but her eyes darted. "Or exaggerated. Youthful errors, backroom deals to fund my first run." "Nothing criminal." Serenity searched her face, seeing the flicker of truth's cost. "Mom, if it's more, we face it together." Elena's laugh was hollow. "Face it? I'd lose everything. The seat, the influence, the chance to keep fighting. And gain what? A daughter who sees you. All of you." Serenity's voice softened. "I hid for you once. Don't make me do it again." The conversation stretched. Confessions spilling. Elena's early desperation. A loan from shady donors to outmaneuver a corrupt incumbent. The debt paid in silence. "I thought it buried. Like my heart. After her." "Her." Serenity leaned in. Pause. Then, "Clara. Might. 85. We ended it when the party brass warned of optics. I chose the path. Always the path. The revelation bridged them. Mother to daughter. Lover to lost love." Serenity squeezed her hand. "Then choose now." "Transparency. It's the only bridge left." Elena nodded. Tentative. That evening, she announced a voluntary audit, framing it as leadership. Polls wobbled, but supporters rallied, letters pouring in, praising candor. Serenity's world steadied, but Lila's did not. Her podcast faced backlash, listeners accusing bias, sponsors pulling ads. "It's karma," Lila joked over dinner, but her eyes were shadowed. "For playing both sides." "You're not," Serenity countered, feeding her a forkful of pasta. "You're human." Their nights deepened, love making a ritual of affirmation, slow explorations by candlelight. Lila's tongue tracing verses of desire, Serenity's fingers eliciting symphonies of surrender. "You're my truth," Lila gasped once, climax shattering her composure. Yet fractures appeared. A weekend retreat for Bridges staff in the Catskills tested them, hiking trails where Lila's hand sought Serenity's publicly, drawing stares from volunteers. One, a burly ex-Marine named Tate, pulled Serenity aside. "Your girl's got fire. But watch, journalists burn bridges to light their way." The warning echoed during a group bonfire. Stories shared around flames. Lila spoke of her immigrant parents' sacrifices, the drive to expose hypocrisy. Serenity listened, pride mingling with prickles of fear. Back in the city, the audit unearthed more. Minor infractions, but enough for censure. Elena resigned her committee chair. A graceful exit, pivoting to advisory roles. "It's liberation," she told Serenity over brunch at Cerebes. Mimosas bubbling. "Time for gardens. Not gavels." Serenity beamed, but her own path forked. An offer came from a DC think tank policy director, leveraging her name. Lila urged acceptance. "Go. Shine." But Serenity hesitated, the loft feeling vast without decision. One night, storm raging outside, she confessed, "What if it's not enough? What if I'm always the scandal's shadow?" Lila drew her into the rain-lashed window, arms encircling. Then were shadows together, dancing. Their passion that night was tempestuous, thunder punctuating moans, bodies slick with sweat and storm. Lila pinned her against glass, mouth devouring, fingers delving deep, waves of pleasure crashing until serenity shattered. Name a litany on her lips. Summer arrived with heat waves and honeymoons unplanned. A road trip upstate. Lila's vintage Jeep winding through Adirondack pines. They camped by lakes, skinny dipping under stars, laughter echoing off water. This is us, Lila said, floating beside her. Untethered, Serenity agreed. But alerts buzzed. Elena's memoir deal. Ghost-written confessions. Lila's eyes lit. Professional envy? Or spark? Back home, the memoir launch party was a velvet rope affair at the 92nd Street Y. Elena, radiant in crimson, read excerpts. Her loves, losses, the 92 shadows. Serenity stood tall, Lila's hand in hers. The crowd's applause a catharsis. After, in a cab speeding through neon, Lila turned. Proud of her. Of you. The kiss ignited. Driver forgotten. Hands roaming seats. Home was frenzy. Clothes shed in hallway. Lila lifting her against wall. Legs wrapping. Rhythm urgent. Mine, Lila growled. Thrusts eliciting cries. Release a shared supernova. Autumn leaves turned. Bridges expanded, a Chicago outpost. Jordan at helm. Serenity accepted the think tank role. Part-time. Balancing worlds. But November brought election eve. Elena endorsing challengers. Her influence subtle. Lila covered it. Neutral. But a post-interview call. She's tough. Like you. Serenity smiled. But unease stirred. A leaked audio, Elena's voice. Coaching evasion on old funds. Forged. Or fatal. Confrontation at the compound. Elena denied. Then admitted edited clip. But Colonel True. I protected us. By lying. Serenity's heart cracked. Lila mediated. Voice calm. Truth heals. Let it. The storm passed. Elena retracting. Owning fully. Serenity forgave. Boundaries firmer. Winter solstice. Under mistletoe in the loft. Lila whispered. Still yes. Always, Serenity replied. Ring exchanged anew. Their love, tempered by fire, burned steady, a beacon in Dynasty's dusk. The holiday lights strung across Bleecker Street twinkled like distant stars, but Serenity felt unmoored, adrift in the Yuletide cheer. It was December 20th, 10 days shy of their wedding, a small ceremony planned at a Vermont inn, snow-dusted pines framing vows. Yet the leaked audio lingered like a specter. Elena's measured denial replaying in Serenity's dreams. No such conversation occurred. Fake news. Darling. Let it die. But it hadn't. Pundits dissected. Opponents pounced. And now? Invitations RSVP'd with hesitance. Serenity sipped mulled wine at a pre-wedding brunch with Lila's family. Her parents, Rosa and Miguel, beaming from Queens. Siblings ribbing good-naturedly. Lila's hand under the table grounded her. Thumb circling palm in silent code, we're okay. Rosa, with her warm laugh and calloused hands from years nursing, pulled Serenity aside. Mija, love isn't a straight path. It's the curves that make the journey. Serenity hugged her tight. The embrace maternal. Uncalculated. How do you know when to trust the road? You follow your heart's map, Rosa said simply, pressing a rosary into her palm. And Lila? She's your compass. The brunch dissolved into laughter. But Serenity's phone vibrated. Jordan? Urgent. Audio forensics back. It's her voice. Spliced but authentic. Elena's in spin mode. Need you. She slipped out to the snowy stoop. Dialing Elena. Tell me it's handled. Pause. Then it is. Private settlement with the leaker. Water under the bridge. Bridges don't hold if the foundation's cracked. Mom. Serenity's breath fogged the air. The wedding's in days. Don't let this shadow it. Elena's tone softened. Wouldn't dream of it. See you at the rehearsal. Serenity returned inside. Lila's eyes questioning. Family drama, she murmured, stealing a kiss that tasted of cinnamon and calm. The rehearsal dinner was intimate. Vermont's rolling hills blanketed white. The inn's great room aglow with firelight. Elena arrived fashionably late. First stole drape. Air-kissing guests. Jordan. Tate. Lila's clan. A smattering of Elena's old guard. Toasts flowed. Miguel on love's endurance. Jordan on Serenity's resilience. Elena rose last. Glass raised. To my daughter, who taught me that true power lies in vulnerability. And to Lila, who saw her light when I couldn't. Her eyes glisten. The room hushed. May your union be the scandal that heals us all. Applause thundered. But Serenity caught the undercurrent. Whispers of the audio. Sidelong glances. Later. In their suite. Lila unlaced Serenity's dress. Hands reverent. You're radiant, she breathed. Lips trailing spine. They made love by firelight. Slow and sacred, Lila's mouth worshipping breasts. Fingers curling inside with exquisite precision. Building to a crescendo of shared release. Forever, Serenity gasped. The word is seal. Wedding day dawn crystalline. Sun gilding evergreens. Serenity stood before the mirror in ivory lace. Auburn waves pinned with wildflowers. Green eyes bright with nerves. Lila waited at the altar. Black tucks sharp. Curls tame. Smile devastating. Vows exchanged under arching beams. Serenity's voice steady. In shadows and light. I choose you. Lila's. Fierce. I'll fight for our truth. Every day. The kiss sealed it. Cheers erupting. Elena dabbing tears from the front row. Reception spilled into dance. Lila twirling Serenity. Elena joining for a mother-daughter sway. Years melting in rhythm. But midnight brought a call. Elena. Voice trembling. Sir. It's bad. The leaker went public, full audio. Unedited. I'm done. Serenity slipped away. Lila following. On the inn's porch. Snow falling soft. She held the phone between them. Elena confessed. The splice was partial. She'd coached evasion. Yet. But to shield minor lapses. Resign tomorrow. Full retirement. Lila's hand tightened on Serenity's. Let us help. Statement, own it. Pivot to advocacy. Elena laughed weakly. The journalist speaks. All right. But sir. Forgive me. Always. Mom. Serenity's heart ached. Love's complexity a beautiful bruise. They returned to the party. Dancing through the night. Bodies pressed close. In their bridal suite, passion ignited anew. Lila's tux shed. Serenity's gown pooled. Mouths and hands exploring with honeymoon hunger. Lila knelt, tongue delving. Serenity's fingers in curls. Climax a wave crashing. Then reverse. Serenity atop. Grinding slow. Drawing Lila's cries until ecstasy bound them. Honeymoon in Oregon's coast. Rugged beaches. Salt air cleansing. They hiked misty trails. Made love in cliffside cabins. Whispers of future kids via donor. Perhaps. Or just them against the world. Back in New York, Elena's resignation made headlines. Vance bows out gracefully. I's new chapter. Serenity mediated transitions. Bridges absorbing Elena's networks for queer policy pushes. Spring bloomed with purpose. Serenity's think tank role flourished. White papers on equity. Testimonies before committees. Lila relaunched her pod. Episodes on redemption arcs. Elena guesting vulnerably. One June evening. Picnic in Prospect Park. Lila sprang surprise. Adoption papers. Fostering a teen girl from the shelter, Riley. Now 16. Eyes wide with hope. Serenity's yes was instant. Tears joyful. Our family. Nights deepen, 3 souls now. Riley's laughter filling the loft. Bedtime stories laced with Lila's tales. Serenity's hugs. But autumn winds carried echoes. A book deal for Lila. Memoir on the Vances. Anonymized but probing. Serenity read drafts. Pride warring with pang. It's honest, she said. Too much? Lila asked. Vulnerable. Just enough. Their lovemaking that night was tender, fingers interlaced. Gazes locked. Peaks soft and profound. Winter again. Riley thriving. Elena visiting with grandkid tales. One eve. Family dinner. Laughter. Stories. Elena toasting. To scandals that birth families. Serenity raised her glass. Lila's beside. Riley's small hand in hers. The dynasty had fallen. But from ruins rose home, love's quiet empire. Yet in quiet moments, Serenity wondered, was peace the end? Or prelude? A new tip surfaced, old rival. Dredging Clara's ghost. But this time, they faced as one. Riley's laughter echoed through the loft like wind chimes in a gale. A sound Serenity had come to crave amid the city's ceaseless hum. It was March. The tail end of a brutal winter. And the 15-year-old now officially theirs. Papers signed in a sunlit courthouse. Dashed between rooms. Backpack slung. Late for school. Mom, Serenity, have you seen my sketchpad? The one with the bridge drawings. Serenity. Nursing coffee at the island. Slid it across the marble. In your bag. Kiddo. And it's Mom to you. Always. The word still thrilled. A title earned through late-night talks and shared heartaches. Riley grinned. Freckles dancing. Then hugged her fierce. Love you. Bye. Lila, Mom. Lila emerged from the bedroom. Towel turban. Robe loose. Drive safe. Traffic's hell. She pecked Riley's cheek. Then turned to Serenity. Eyes smoldering. And you back by 7? Date night. Serenity's pulse quickened. Remembering their ritual, post-dinner walks. Then home to unravel. Wouldn't miss it. The day unfolded in rhythms familiar yet new. At the think tank. Meetings blurred, equity audits for federal grants. Calls with Elena on her nonprofit pivot. Vance forward. Mentoring women in politics sans the pitfalls. Learned from the best and worst, Elena quipped during lunch. Her Park Avenue bistro spot a neutral haven. You're thriving, Serenity said. Spearing salad. Retirement suits. Elena's smile was wry. Half-truth. Miss the fight, but love the freedom. New wife. Mother. Glows brighter than any filibuster. Affection swelled. Tempered by history. We made it, Serenity murmured. Barely, Elena replied. Clinking forks. But beautifully. Afternoon brought Lila's text. Pod edit running long. Rain check. Disappointment stung. But Serenity replied, go conquer. Love. Evening found her solo at a Bridges event in Harlem. A panel on trans youth rights. Speakers poured out raw, resilient, and Serenity moderated. Voice steady. Drawing parallels to her own hidden years. Q&A turned personal. A young man. Voice cracking. How do you forgive family who didn't see you? Serenity paused. Elena's face flashing. Time. And truth. They see now because you showed them. Applause warmed. But ache lingered. Home alone. She poured wine. Scrolling wedding photos, Lila's grin. Riley's flower crown toss. The door clicked at 10. Lila winded. Apologetic. Sorry. Love. Scoop on city council corruption. Had to chase. She dropped her bag. Pulling Serenity close. Missed you. The kiss deepened. Hands roaming. Apology in every touch. They migrated to bedroom. Clothes shedding. Lila's blouse unbuttoned slow. Serenity's jeans tugged free. On silk sheets. Lila's mouth mapped collarbone to core. Tongue circling with devastating skill. Fingers joining until Serenity bowed. Release a quiet storm. Stay, Serenity whispered after. Lila's head on her chest. Always. But mornings tested. Riley's school drama escalated. Bullies targeting her sketches. Queer icons twisted into taunts. Serenity and Lila tag-teamed. Calls to counselors. Art therapy referrals. One night, Riley sobbed in Serenity's lap. Why can't it be easy? Lila knelt. Family huddle. Nothing worth it is. But we've got you. The incident galvanized. Serenity testified at City Hall. Lila podcasting survivor stories. Elena lobbying allies. Change crept policy tweaks. Awareness ripples. Summer sweltered. Family escaped to Montana's Big Sky. Cabins by glacial lakes. Hikes where Riley sketched eagles. Lila fished. Serenity journaled. Evenings by fire pits. Sticky. Stories spun Elena's wild youth. Lila's border crossing tales. Serenity's Hamptons haunts. One dusk. Lakeside. Lila drew Serenity aside. Thinking kids. More than fostering our own. Serenity's heart flipped. Yeah. Surrogate? Or adoption again? Whatever. With you. The kiss was sunset-kissed. Hands linking underwater. Passion that night in the cabin. Urgent. Exploratory. Lila atop. Hips grinding. Serenity's nails raking back. Moans harmonizing with Loon's calls. Climax shared. Bodies quaking. Future seated. Fall brought harvest. Serenity's book deal. Bridges unbroken. Memoir weaving personal to political. Lila edited chapters. Gentle red pen. Raw. Real. Riley's art show at school. Bridges in bold strokes drew crowds. Elena beaming front row. But shadows lengthened. Elena's health scare. Routine check flagging arrhythmia. Minor surgery but seismic fear. Serenity at hospital. Holding hand through monitors. Scared, she asked. Terrified, Elena admitted. Of leaving unfinished. You're not. Legacies us, me. Riley. The work. Recovery slow. But Elena emerged softer. Weekly dinners instituted. 1. Over lasagna. She gifted a locket, Clara's. For courage. Serenity clasped it. Tears pricking. Thank you. Winter holidays. Full house. Riley's glee at lights. Lila's tamales. Elena's toasts. Post-feast. Adults lingered. Wine flowing. Elena confided. Proudest of this you. Her. The girl. My true dynasty. Serenity hugged her. Lila joining. Circle complete. New year dawned with resolve. Fertility consults. Dreams documented. Serenity's book tour kicked off Chicago. Austin, Lila tagging along. Stolen hotel nights fervent. In a San Francisco suite. Overlooking Bay. Lila blindfolded her. Feathers and ice teasing. Building to frenzy, Serenity unbound. Cries echoing. Lila's devotion in every shiver. Spring. Positive news surrogate match. Journey begun. Riley thrilled. Sibling sketches incoming. But curveball. Lila's offer. Anchor at National News Desk. DC. Based. Temporary. Career peak. Serenity's gut twisted. And us? Riley. Weekends. Calls. But it's huge. Debate raged nights. Love versus ambition. Don't dim for me, Serenity urged finally. Go. We'll bridge the miles. Lila accepted. Tearful. Proud of you for saying that. Their goodbye lovemaking poignant. Prolonged kisses mapping goodbyes. Bodies memorizing. Lila's fingers deep. Mouth on pulse. Serenity's reciprocation worshipful. Peaks laced with salt. DC. Suited Lila. Bylines blazing. But calls grew sparse, late edits. Schmoozing. Serenity juggled solo. School runs. Elena visits. Bridges growth. Riley noticed. Miss Lila mom. Me too, Serenity admitted. Heart heavy. Midsummer crisis. Surrogate complication, early loss. Grief crashing. Serenity flew to Elena's. Crumbling in arms. Why now? Life's cruel editor, Elena soothed. But chapters turn. Lila arrived midnight. Holding through sobs. We'll try again. Or not. You're enough. Healing slow therapy circles. Riley's art therapy collages of fractured bridges mending. Fall reconciled. Lila turned down permanent. Returning full. Homes you. Reunion night. Explosive. Door barely shut. Lila pressing her to wall. Hands everywhere. Clothes rent. On floor. Then bed. Then shower relentless. Reclaiming. Orgasms chaining until spent. Winter brought renewal. New surrogate. Cautious hope. Elena's 60th bash. Surprise party. Riley's toast slang. To Grandma Elena, bridge builder extraordinaire. Serenity watched Lila laugh. Riley twirl. Elena beam. Family forged in fire. Unbreakable. Yet whispers persisted. Old foes dredging. But they stood firm. Love's light outshining shadows. The ultrasound wand glided cool across oiled skin. The room hushed save for the text murmurs and the steady thump, thump, like a heartbeat echoing hope. Serenity gripped Lila's hand, knuckles white. As the screen flickered to life, a peanut-sized form, pulsing insistent. Strong, the doctor said, smiling. All looks good. Tears blurred Serenity's vision. Lila's squeeze answering. It was October. Leaves turning gold outside the clinic in Tribeca. And this after the loss. The grief's gray fog was Miracle's first breath. Riley waited in the lobby, sketching impatiently, her excitement a bomb. Brother or sister? Lila asked later. Over gelato in the village. Riley spoon waving. Surprise, Serenity laughed. The sound lighter than in months. But yours either way. Home. They celebrated small takeout sushi. Elena joining via video. Her face alight from her Cape Cod retreat. To the next Vance Res firebrand, she toasted. Wine glass pixelated. Nights now held reverence. Lila's palm splayed on Serenity's still flat belly. Whispers to the life within. Their intimacy shifted, gentler. Exploratory. Lila's touches worshipping curves. Mouth tracing swells. Drawing sighs from Serenity. Beautiful, Lila breathed. Fingers circling sensitive peaks. Building slow to shimmering release. Winter wrapped them cozy. Riley's school play, her as a bridge troll. Hilariously fierce, Lila filming. Serenity beaming. Holidays amplified. Tree trimming marathons. Elena's arrival with heirlooms. A silver rattle from her own mother. One eve. Snow blanketing. Elena pulled Serenity to the balcony. This baby's lucky, 2 moms who fight fair. A grandma who's learned mercy. Serenity leaned on her. And you? Happy in semi-retirement. Blissfully bored, Elena quipped. Teaching seminars now, ethics and politics. Irony included. Laughter flowed. But Elena's eyes shadowed. Heard from Clara last week. She's in Seattle. Retired prof. Wants to meet for coffee. Closure. Serenity's heart tugged. Go. Bridges go both ways. Elena nodded. Resolve firming. Her trip yielded letters exchanged. A tentative lunch, stories swapped. Regrets aired. Back. She shared with Serenity. Healing's not erasure. It's integration. Spring quickened. Belly rounding. Kicks fluttering. Serenity's book hit shelves. Tour pause for maternity leave. Lila balanced pod deadlines. Home anchor. Riley bonded fierce. Belly talks. Name brainstorming, river for boy. Sage for girl. Family names, she insisted. Drawing charts. A bump. Paparazzi resurgence. Old scandal fodder twisted for clicks. Vance Lesbo legacy. Baby bump or PR ploy. Serenity fumed. But Lila spun a pod episode. Media literacy. Resilience. They're vultures, Serenity vented that night. Pacing. Lila drew her to couch. Feet in lap. And we're lions. Roar back. Massage turned intimate. Lila's hands kneading thighs. Parting gently. Tongue soothing. Serenity melted. Pregnancy heightened senses ablaze. Climax soft wave. Summer swelled. Beach days in the Hamptons. Elena's compound haven. Riley built sandcastles. Lila surfed. Serenity napped shaded. Evenings. Bonfires. Elena recounting Clara's letters. Permission granted to share snippets. Love's endurance. One twilight. Waves lapping. Lila knelt in sand. Renewal vows? Here. Now. Serenity's yes tear-choked. Kiss salty. No rings. Just promises through births. Storms. Passion under stars, blanket spread. Lila careful atop. Movements fluid. Serenity's hands guiding. Shared peaks whispering sea. Fall harvest. Baby shower at Bridges HQ. Rainbow balloons. Donors gifting books and blankets. Jordan emceed. Roast gentle. Elena gifted a trust. For flights of fancy. Not fights. Riley unveiled art. Family portrait. Bridges linking figures. Our story, she said. Serenity hugged her. Bump pressing. Perfect. Labor came early November. Midnight pains. Lila drove frantic. Elena meeting at hospital. Riley with Rosa. Hours blurred, contractions crashing. Lila's hand crushed. Elena's stories distracting. Dawn's cry-pierced girl. Sage Elena Reyes Vance. Tiny fists waving. Serenity held her. Lila's tears falling. Hours. Riley peaked. Awestruck. She's. Bridge small. Weeks blurred in newborn haze feedings. Alex. Lila's lullabies in Spanish. Serenity's rockings. Elena visited daily. Point. Changing diapers with surprising aplomb. Grandma duty suits. One night. Sage fretful. Serenity nursed in rocker. Lila beside. We did this, Lila marveled. Yeah, Serenity whispered. Exhaustion sweet. And more to come. Healing postpartum yoga classes. Therapy check-ins. Bridges board supporting leave. Lila scaled back pod. Prioritizing nest. Winter's first snow. Sage bundled. Family walk in park. Riley pushed stroller. Elena arm in arm with Serenity. Dynasty redefined, Elena mused. Laughter rose. Sage gurgling. Spring Sage's first rolls. Coos. Serenity returned part-time. Elena babysitting. Stories of policy laced with rhymes. A curve. Lila's Pod Emmy nod scandal series. Ethical deep dive. Ceremony in LA. Serenity flying with babes. Riley thrilled red carpet. When announced. Lila's speech. To truths that free. Loves that heal. Kiss cam caught Serenity. Sage on lap. Cheers thundering. Home. Celebration intimate. Lila's dress unzipped slow. Serenity's gratitude in touches, mouth on breast. Fingers familiar. Release celebratory. Summer Idol Montana Redux. Sage and Carrier. Hike slower. Elena joined. Clara invited tentative first meet. Coffees by lake. Histories bridged. No drama. Just nods past honored. Present embraced. Fall Sage's christening. Non-denominational. Park Pavilion. Vows renewed collective. Community pledges. Riley. 10 now. Read poem Bridges Eternal. Winter solstice. Lights twinkling. Sage crawling. Family circle. Elena toasted. To scandals sown. Harvests reaped. Serenity met Lila's eyes. Sage between. Riley's hand in hers. Love's full bloom. Enduring. Yet life whispered on. New challenges Riley's teen stirrings. Elena's memoir sequel. But roots deep, they grew. Sage's first birthday dawned with chaos and cake. Balloons deflating prematurely. Riley wielding frosting like war paint. Lila capturing it all on video while Elena, sleeves rolled, mashed bananas into oblivion. The loft pulsed with life. Crayon-scrawled banners. A high-chair thrown. Neighbors spilling in with gifts wrapped in newsprint. Serenity, hip-deep in streamers, paused to watch her daughter, chubby-cheeked and crowing, smearing chocolate on Lila's nose. Laughter bubbled. Unscripted. The kind that stitched old wounds seamless. Perfect mess, Lila mouthed, winking amid the din. By evening, exhausted bliss saged down. Riley crashed post-party. Elena departed for a speaking gig in Boston. Serenity and Lila collapsed on the couch. Wine in hand. Feet tangled. One down, Lila sighed. Head on shoulder. A lifetime to go. Serenity kissed her temple. The locket from Elena glinting. With you? Bring it. Their solitude ignited slow. Glasses set aside. Lila's fingers unbuttoning Serenity's blouse with deliberate care. Lips following threads. Pregnancy had softened curves. But Lila worshipped them, tongue-flicking nipples. Hands cupping hips. Drawing Serenity astride. Rocking gentle. Gazes locked. Climax built like tide. Crashing shared and serene. Spring unfurled with Sage's toddles. Wobbly steps chasing Riley's soccer ball in Riverside Park. Lila cheering. Serenity filming. Elena's visits grew ritual. Thursdays. Takeout and teething tales. She's got your eyes, Elena noted one eve. Sage gnawing a teether. And my stubborn chin, Serenity chuckled. Lucky girl. Work rebalanced. Serenity's think tank consulting remote. Bridges chapters thriving. Portland outpost led by a trans advocate named Kai. Stories mirroring Riley's early struggles. Lila's pod evolved. Family-focused. Episodes on queer parenting. Sage's gurgles cameo. A ripple Riley. 11. Questioning identity, non-binary leanings. Pronouns shifting. Family meeting in kitchen. Pancakes cooling. He. She. They whatever fits, Lila affirmed. Serenity hugged. You're our Riley. Always. Therapy followed. Group for trans youth. Serenity volunteering. Elena. Hesitant. Attended ally workshop. Eye-opener. Wish I'd had this. Summer scorched. Family camp in Oregon. Forests whispering. Sage babbled at streams. Riley canoed with new friends. Lila and Serenity stole forest clearings. Blankets spread. Quick and quiet. Hands muffled gasped. Release amid pines. Back east. Elena's big ask. Co-author memoir sequel. Dynasties of the Heart. Your voice. My history. For them. Serenity agreed. Evenings typing raw drafts of scandals. Loves. Births. Fall Harvest Festival. Pumpkin Patch. Sage and Wagon. Riley carving jack-o'-lanterns fierce. Lila proposed expansion. Pod Network. Queer voices amplified. DC. Again. Short stint. Serenity's heart dipped. But nodded. Go. We'll hold. Lila's absence stretched. Weeks to months. Calls laced with static. Sage fussed more. Riley withdrew. Serenity juggled solo nights lonely. Elena's dinners anchors. One storm-lashed evening. Elena arrived unannounced. Rain-soaked. Clara's gone. Heart attack. Sudden. Her voice cracked. Facade shattering. Serenity held her on the couch. Sage asleep nearby. Riley peeking concerned. Tell me. Stories poured. Rekindled friendship. Letters. A final visit, hands held. Regrets dissolved. She forgave. Said I was her bridge. Grief shared. Funeral in Seattle. Serenity flying with Elena. Sage in tow. Clara's service simple poems. Song. Women toasting lost fire. Elena spoke. You taught me love's quiet roar. Back. Healing in halves. Elena channeling to scholarship fund. Serenity weaving into book. Lila returned mid-grief. Arms open. Missed this. Reunion raw shower steam. Bodies pressing. Tears mingling with moans. Lila's fingers urgent. Serenity's release cathartic. Winter deepened resolve. Lila shelved expansion. Home full. Riley's coming out at school, they slashed them. Art show announcement. Family rallied. Elena gifting custom pronouns necklace. Sage's words emerged. Mama Lee, pointing at Lila. Melting all. Spring book launch. Dynasty's bestseller. Tour duet, Serenity and Elena. Stages shared. Stories intertwined. Q&As turn therapy. Audiences weeping. Questions healing. One night. Chicago hotel. Post-reading high. Lila waiting in suite. Candles lit. Celebrate. Dress slipped. Bed claimed. Lila's mouth devouring. Straps in size. Peaks plural. Summer solace. Vermonton anniversary, Sage with Rosa. Riley at camp. Rekindled. Hikes hand in hand. Love-making languid. Porch swing creaking. Lila's tongue tracing thighs. Serenity's fingers in curls. Symphony soft. Fall. Riley's show, Bridges abstract. Pronouns woven in titles. Sold out. Critics raving. Elena bought first. Priceless. Winter wonder, Sage walking steady. Family ski trip Montana, tumbles. Hot cocoa. Elena teaching turns. Evenings. Firelit. Lila's guitar strums. Harmony's family. A spark. New pregnancy talk, adoption route. Boy from Louisiana foster. Visits began. Hearts cracking open. Spring bloom, match made. Theo arriving summer, toddler terror. Sage's playmate. But Theo's trauma surfaced. Nights screaming. Attachments frayed. Family therapy. Patience tested. Lila's steadiness shown. Elena's wisdom grounded. One dawn. Theo calm in lap. Serenity whispered to Lila. We're enough for him. Summer integration. Beach days chaotic. Theo splashing. Riley mentoring. Elena's compound refuge. Clara's locket passed to Theo, legacy looped. Fall adjustment. School starts. Theo preschool. Sage daycare. Serenity's Grant 1. National Bridges Network. Winter holidays. Full table. Theo's first words, family. Elena's toast. To build. Broken. Reborn. Passion persisted. Stolen moments. Lila's office quickie, desk cleared. Serenity bent. Thrusts hushed. Release rushed. Life layered. Scandals faded footnotes. Love's narrative dominant, enduring. Evolving. Theo's tiny hand clutched Serenity's finger as they strolled the high line. Autumn gusts swirling leaves like confetti from forgotten parades. He was 3 now. compact and curious. His dark curls a wild halo. A hazel. Watchful, scanning graffiti walls for monsters or magic. Sage toddled beside. Four and fearless. Tugging Lila's coat. Up. Momily. Sea boats. Lila obliged. Hoisting her high. Laughter ringing clear. Riley. Teen. Ambled ahead. Earbuds in. Sketching on phone. Non-binary swagger in oversized hoodie. Pronouns pinned proud. Elena trailed. Slower these days. Her silver hair loose. A scarf warding winter's edge. This brood, she marveled. Linking arms with Serenity. My wildest policy win. Serenity squeezed. The paths hum joggers. Vendors. River glints, a symphony of settled chaos. It was November 2025. A decade since the photo that shattered and shaped. And here they were, whole, if weathered. Home anchored deeper. Loft expanded. Bunk beds for kids. Elena's pied-a-terre nearby. Bridges spanned coasts. Policy shifting under its weight, bills passed. Closets cracked open. Lila's network thrived. Emmy shelf groaning. Serenity's consultancy balanced family. Elena's mentorships bloomed, women rising. Unscarred. But undercurrents stirred. Riley's first crush. Alex. A classmate poet. Gender fluid and gentle. Family dinner debates. Dates? Curfew. Lila grilled protective. Serenity mediated soft. Trust the bridge, Elena advised. Winking. Winter solstice party. Lanterns lit. Friends filling rooms, Jordan with partner. Kai from Portland. Roses empanadas steaming. Kids chase glow sticks. Adults swap stories, Clara's fun thriving. New grants named. Midnight. Balcony hush. Lila pulled Serenity close. Snowflakes catching lashes. 10 years tomorrow. That photo, best accident. Serenity's throat tightened. Memory vivid, rain. Revelation. Rebirth. Brought to you. Kiss deepen. Hands wandering coats, quick heat. Promises of later. Indoors. Elena cornered them. Gift box proffered. Matching pendants. Bridges etched. For the architects. Tears pricked. Love you. Mom. Riley's voice cut. Gross. PDA. But grin betrayed. New Year. Resolutions whispered, Lila's book. Serenity's sabbatical. Elena's travel. Kids' dreams. Theo's Dino Park. Sage's Star Sleepover. Riley's Zine Empire. Spring surged. Lila's novel draft. Queer Dynasty tale veiled. Serenity beta read. Notes loving. Hearts here. Polish edges. Elena's Italy jaunt. Venice canals. Clara's ghost gentle. Postcards. Bridges everywhere. Miss you. Summer blaze. Family road trip southwest, Grand Canyon echoes. Theo's a big hole magic. Sage collecting rocks. Riley photographing sunsets. Motel nights. Kids bunked. Parents stealing shower, steam slick. Lila's back to wall. Serenity's fingers urgent. Gasps gagged by towels. Fall focus. Riley's zine launch, queer youth voices. Sold at Bridges Fair. Alex attended. Hand brush electric. Post-event. Riley confided. Scary exciting. You're brave, Serenity said. Hug fierce. Winter's hush. Theo's preschool play, bridge building skit. Family front row. Elena's cough lingered, checkup flagged. Early emphysema from stress smoke years. Manageable, Doc said. But fear flickered. Elena waved it. More reason to live loud. Passion adapted. Lila's attentiveness heightened. Morning slow serenity waking to mouth on thigh. Building languid to dawn chorus. Spring renewal. Elena's memoir tour finale. Granddaughters in tow. Q&As turned legacy. Scandals? They were signposts. Summer serenity. Cape Cod weeks. Elena's porch rockers. Kids digging clams. Lila and Serenity kayak dusk. Water lapping. Hands linking. Quiet vows refreshed. Fall fruition. Lila's book deal. Riley's school acceptance art magnet. Theo's words flowed. Sage's dances entranced. Winter's gift. Elena's remission clear. Party thrown fireworks. Toast. To breaths shared. One eve. Kids asleep. Elena visited late. Dreamed of Clara. Said you're my finest bridge. Serenity held her. Lila joining. And you ours. Passion post goodbye. Couch tangle. Lila strength lifting. Rhythms deep. Release a hush of gratitude. Life cycled. Scandals sepia. Love vivid. Dynasty not of power. But presence. Serenity. Gazing family photos. This. The true empire. Years layered gentle. Kids growing. Riley's college apps. Sage's violin. Theo's puzzles. Elena's 80th. Surprise gala. Speeches heartfelt. Lila's pod empire. Serenity's foundation global. A final storm. Elena's decline swift, lungs failing. But spirit fierce. Hospice chosen. Family rotating, stories read. Hands held. Last words to Serenity. Proud. Love. Always. Funeral spring, cherry blossoms. Eulogies woven, Clara invoked. Scandals footnotes. Love's loud. Grief bloomed. Walk silent. Nights held. But Elena's will, fund for bridges. Letters for each. Riley's, keep building. Kid. Sage's, dance through storms. Theo's, find magic. Serenity and Lila's, you were the scandal that saved us. Healing in halves, trips to Italy. Elena's haunts. Kids carried forward. Riley's advocacy. Sage's art. Theo's empathy. Decades end. Anniversary vow renewal. Park bench original kiss spot. Kids officiating. Pendants gleaming. I do, Lila said. Eyes shining. Forever, Serenity echoed. Kiss sealed. Family cheering love's dynasty. Eternal.